I could do besides being on Soapstar. And then a couple of days after I taped the 4th episode, I get a call, and this time the call wasn't from my manager or from The Wire. It was from a family member telling me that we had a family member who was deathly ill. And then the day after that, I got another call, but this call was from my sorority sister telling me that another one of our sisters who was 30 years old had had a stroke and had fallen into a coma. And then the next day, I get a call from my manager, and she tells me that The Wire wants me back for a 5th episode. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I know they say that the good comes with the bad, but, come on now, give me a break here. So, when I found out I was going back to The Wire for the 5th episode, I couldn't really celebrate because I was just praying a lot for my family member and praying a lot for my sorority sister, Shania. And then the next day I get a call from my other sorority sister to tell me that Shania didn't make it. And I tell you, that was one of the toughest weeks that I have ever had to face in my life and in my career. To have things happening in your life, but yet you still have this career that goes on and it just doesn't stop. You have to keep going. Then later that day, I get a call from my manager to say that I'd be taping the 5th episode of The Wire on the 9th, and then a call later that day to say that Shania's funeral was going to be on the 9th. And I tell you, I was just like, what am I going to do? How am I going to handle all of this? I have to go to work and I have a job to do, but I have all of this stuff happening in my personal life. I was totally conflicted because I wasn't really sure how I was going to be able to go to work and, and work. But, there's a saying that the show must go on, and it had to go on. So I went back to Baltimore on the 9th, and thank God my episode taped as one of the first scenes of the day. Then I hauled ass from the set to the Baltimore airport, got on the plane, I flew to Columbus, and I was able to grieve with my friends, my sisters, about our loss. I didn't make it to the funeral, but it was just really important for me to be there with my sisters in Columbus, and just for us to come together as a family and just grieve for our loss. And you guys, I didn't tell you guys this story so that you could feel sorry for me. Part of this blog is so that you know what goes on in an actor's life, and that is something that happens. You have your life, and then you have your career, and sometimes the two, they just collide together unexpectedly. But you just gotta keep it. You just gotta keep it moving. You gotta keep it going. So I came back to New York. When I got back to New York, I had to get a job. I got a job a few months after that. It was time for Soapstar to air, and things were going great. I hired a publicist. I hired Tracy. I also signed on with Michael Bruno, who was one of the judges on Soapstar, for those of you who don't know. And I have to tell you that he is my champion. Since the show, he has done so much for me and has really helped me get to the next level of my career. He got me in at As the World Turns to meet with Mary Clay Boland, just to sit down and talk to her, and to see if they had anything on their show for me. And just from talking to her in an interview, I got 5 episodes on As the World Turns without even auditioning, because Mary Clay Boland and Lamont Craig were fans of mine from Soapstar. And I just really thank Mary Clay Boland and Lamont Craig, because they believed in me and they gave me a chance to work in soap. So that was really, really huge for me. And then a couple months after that, I booked a Robitussin commercial. Donna, you got the flu. This Robitussin to make you feel better. Remember that? So yeah, that was me. And then a few months after that, it was time for The Wire to air. So 2006 turned out to be a really good year, all things considered. I mean, it was a roller coaster, but I had a lot of great blessings that year. And to start 2007 off on an even better note, I signed with Don Buchwald and Associates. And I tell you, between Michael Bruno, my manager, and Tracy Harper, my publicist, and now my dream team over at Don Buchwald and Associates, I am just truly blessed. I know I say it a lot, but I really do feel blessed to have all of these people working on my behalf, believing in me, pushing me, and encouraging me. And I call them all my dream team because they're the ones that are helping me go out and live my dream. So I signed with Buchwald, and then shortly thereafter, I booked a starring role in a pilot called Stream, starring Whoopi Goldberg and William Sadler. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with that project. It's not out. As soon as I know, I will definitely let you guys know where you can go and check it out. Hopefully, it'll be coming out soon. Then I booked another film that will star Ross Thomas and Peter O'Toole. It's called Baton. It's going to be shot in Philadelphia, but as happens in this business, the film is on hold right now, and I'm just waiting for production to start back up. Then I'll go on to Philadelphia to play one of Ross Thomas's love interests. That's going to be so much fun. And then after that, I booked Law & Order, Criminal Intent. So I just finished taping that episode, which airs November 15th on USA at 10 o'clock. So you guys tune in and watch. So that pretty much catches you guys up to what I've been up to. So for the Shamika Chronicles, be prepared to see what happens in my life as it relates to my career. From going on to auditions, how I prepare, what happens during the auditions, what happens after the auditions. I just want to be able to show you guys what happens behind the scenes. Also, as it relates to my dream teams, you'll probably see some of Michael Bruno on here. He had a wonderful blog on soapnet.com for I Want to Be a Soap Star, so I'm hoping he'll come on my blog. He will. And maybe some stuff behind the scenes with Tracy, my publicist, and maybe my team over at Buchwald. Also, going on some events with me. That's another thing that happened to me in 2006. I was able to go on some fabulous, fabulous events, including Fashion Week. And Fashion Week is so much fun. I'll be able to take you guys front row and backstage. And it's just going to be... If you guys thought being an actor was all glamorous, you have no idea until you tune in to the Shamika Chronicles and actually see it as it happens. So stay tuned, and thank you all for stopping by. Muchas, muchas.